Chloe, come here. Seriously, drop what you're doing. The story my friend Minju just told me, it's not just a messy drama. It's a long, bizarre story about how one person's loneliness and selfishness can swallow up so many lives. She said after you hear the ending, you might even start to question the word love itself. The main character is this woman in her early 40s. Let's call her Sunwoo Lee. Her life was the definition of peaceful. Her husband ran a small workshop, a quiet but always affectionate man. Her middle school daughter was, a typical teen, but still a total mama's girl. She even got along with her mother-in-law. It was a normal, happy life she believed would last forever. The morning it all fell apart was just like any other. Her husband patted their daughter's head on her way to school, gave Sunwoo a kiss on the forehead, and said from the doorway, "How about kimchi jjigae for dinner tonight? I'm craving yours." That was the last thing he ever said to her. A little after lunchtime, a strange number called. There had been an accident on the highway, a collision with a semi-truck. Her world stopped. All the way to the hospital, she just kept whispering, "No, no, no!" But the moment she saw her mother-in-law's vacant face in front of the emergency room, she knew it was over. The funeral was a blur of tears. She just held her daughter for days. But there was this one woman there who stood out, a former classmate of her husband's, apparently. She was crying more intensely than anyone, almost hysterically. When Sunwoo went to comfort her, the woman grabbed her hand, her eyes all red, and just muttered, "You don't know anything, you don't know anything," before running off. At the time, she just thought she was a very close friend, deeply in grief. After the funeral, a life insurance policy paid out 500 million won, about 400,000 US dollars. And once that news got out, distant relatives she barely knew started showing up at her door every single day, harassing her for money. "Your husband promised to invest in my business. He owed me money." All kinds of nonsense. She was so terrified and grief-stricken, she went to her mother-in-law. "I can't handle this. Please, can you manage the money?" Her mother-in-law promised to be her shield, took the money, and like magic, the harassing relatives vanished. Sunwoo felt so grateful, so protected. A few days later, she started organizing her husband's belongings. His study, his clothes, everything still smelled like him. She found his old smartphone, charged it, and opened the picture gallery. She was swiping through pictures of their daughter, of family vacations, crying. But as she scrolled further back, the gallery became flooded with pictures of a strange woman, the same woman from the funeral. Pictures of them at the beach, drinking wine at a fancy restaurant, even kissing in a hotel room. Her hands were shaking. She found a group chat with his old classmates. In that world, her husband and this woman were the official, celebrated couple. "Did you two have a good date last night?" were the kinds of messages she saw. Every "I have to work late," every "I have to go to a friend's father's funeral" was a lie. The car's black box footage was the final nail in the coffin. It wasn't just hotel parking lots. It was footage of them laughing, holding hands, whispering "I love you" in the car. She took all this evidence to her mother-in-law, sobbing, but the older woman was strangely calm. "He's gone now. What can we do? You poor thing. We have to forget all this and live for your daughter." She just assumed she was in deep shock too. She never imagined it was an act to cover up an even more horrifying truth. After the 49th day memorial, a Buddhist ceremony, she was cleaning out his old desk for the last time. Deep in a drawer, she found a bundle of letters. But the sender wasn't the classmate. It was another woman, a junior colleague from his office named Miss Jung. The letters were clearly love letters. So there was another one? She felt true horror. Who was the man she had married? In the midst of this chaos, the lease on her apartment was ending. She went to her mother-in-law. "Mother, I think it's best if we just buy this house. Could I have the insurance money you're holding for me?" And that's when her mother-in-law started acting strange. "Oh dear, I don't know where I put the passbook. I think I lost the official seal." Flimsy excuses. She played a final card. "Mother, I have to go to the bank, but my back hurts. Could you please come with me?" At the bank, in front of the teller, she requested a new passbook and a full transaction history. And there it was. The account didn't have 500 million won. It had 101 million won. The other 400 million had been sent in two 200 million won payments. The recipients? One was the classmate mistress, the other was the colleague, Miss Jung. She grabbed her mother-in-law right there in the bank. "Mother, what is this? Why did you send these women my money?" And the old woman, as if a dam had broken, confessed the entire monstrous truth. Get this, Chloe. After the funeral, the colleague Miss Jung had shown up at her house 8 months pregnant. She wanted to get an abortion, but the mother-in-law found out the baby was a boy. Her son, her only child, was from a line of 4 generations of only sons. The obsession with continuing the family line was absolute. She fell to her knees and begged the mistress, "Please just give birth to this baby. I will give you 200 million won. I will take responsibility." That was the first 200 million won. A few days later, the other mistress, the classmate, showed up. She was 5 months pregnant. She said, "I have a family. I can't raise this child, but I'll give birth to him for you to raise as your grandson." But the mother-in-law refused. Why? Because that baby was a girl. So she used the other 200 million won to pay the classmate to get an abortion and disappear. 200 grand to get a son, 200 grand to get rid of a granddaughter. Even the harassing relatives, that was all a play orchestrated by the mother-in-law to get her hands on the insurance money. Her final plan was to take the baby boy from the mistress, lie to Sunwoo that he was the orphaned son of a distant relative, and have Sunwoo raised her husband's illegitimate son as her own. In the end, Sunwoo sued her mother-in-law and got the remaining money back. She sued the 2 mistresses and got a paltry 40 million won in damages. Nothing for a life destroyed. And so a once perfect family was completely annihilated, caught between a dead husband's endless betrayals and a living mother-in-law's horrifying obsession. Isn't that just awful?